we're going to kick off with some key AAPEX exhibitor information today. This is going to include some important dates and times, our badge policy, our online exhibitor e-booth profile, and a few other elements. So here are some important dates and times. We have our move-in hours Thursday, October 31st, 2019, 11 to 5 p.m., halls A, B, C, D, G, and D+. And then Friday through Monday, the day before the show, we're going to have 8 to 5 p.m., all of the halls as well. One thing to note is on Monday, you are more than welcome to stay at your booth till after 5 p.m., but it is going to be hard to re-enter the show. So as long as you're in the hall, stay in the hall, and you have until pretty much all night if you need to set up your booth space. Show hours, as you all are very probably well rehearsed and known, are Tuesday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We do run in conjunction with SEMA, as some of you are exhibitors over there as well. They do have their show open on Friday. We are not open on Friday. We are doing our move out on then, so that's one thing to note. Move out hours. So I would like to bring this to all of your attentions. Exhibitors may not tear down their booth prior to 5 p.m. on that Thursday. If we catch you tearing down your booth prior to that time, it is in violation of the rules and regulations that you guys signed with your agreement when you filled out your space application. So please, please do not tear down your booth prior to then. We have Thursday 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., Friday 8 to 5, and then everybody has to be crated exhibits down by 12 noon on Saturday. I would also like to mention some important offices that we're going to have on site. So it's fun since we're in Vegas right now, I can literally point out the door to where these offices are going to be. So the first one that is going to be, I'd like to say most important, is the AAPEX Management Office. There you're going to find our team with WT Glasgow, and we're going to help you with any on-site logistics that you have. So if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to stop by. We're always in there. We're always walking around. Those of you who are returning exhibitors know we're not just standing in behind a door. We're always out on the show floor, in the hallways. So we are going to be in Sands Room 305, which is directly behind us. So that's going to be the area, and we always have on-site signage as well, but this makes it a little bit easier to show you guys. As well as our show owners, they both have member centers. So ASA Mira, they are in Sands Room 102, and then Auto Care is in Sands Room 201. And those you both walked past when coming back here today for this event. And when we do our tours later, we'll point out all of this too, so you can have a visual. Shuttle Bus Hours. So we do have shuttles that run through AAPEX and SEMA, and these run throughout the show days. So one thing to note is that they do start in the morning, they do start in the afternoon, but there is a midday break. So there are no shuttles between the two shows from 10:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Those shuttles are going to be located on this floor outside in the Venetian hallway. We do also offer airport service, and that's going to be leaving the Sands on Thursday, 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. They leave every 30 minutes, and it is cash only. Registration and badge policy. So another important room for you is going to be Sands Room 303, and that's going to be exhibitor registration. Here you're going to be able to pick up any badges that weren't mailed to you, or if you have any corrections to a name, to an employee, if you have somebody that was supposed to be coming and they aren't anymore, this is where you're going to make all of those corrections. So those, as you can read, are your badge hours for that room. All you'll have to bring is if they're registered prior to showing up on site, bring your confirmation. That's going to be emailed to you. If they need to register on site, they will need a valid ID. Another badge policy that I would like to point out is those of you that may be exhibiting at both AAPEX and SEMA, we have badge holders that actually state that. So in years past, a few exhibitors that were co-exhibiting at both shows found it a little bit hard to have move-in hours getting into the show floor, move-out hours, and they were switching badge holders. If you are exhibiting at both shows, go to that Sands Room 303 that I just mentioned, and what you'll do is your badge holder that you receive in the mail prior to the show, you'll bring that and trade it in for an AAPEX SEMA badge holder. And what that's going to allow you to do is get early access into the show. You'll be able to get to the show floor an hour early on show days, actually at 7 a.m. and then you'll also be able to participate in move in and move out. So this is a very convenient thing for those who are co-exhibiting at both shows. Make that note that once you get here on site for move in, trade in your badge holder, and you'll be able to have more access to both shows. Lastly, a few rules and regulations on the badge policy. All exhibitors must wear a badge. This is for any AAPEX official event. You need to have a badge going into the show. If you do not have a badge, you do not get into the show. You'll have to be escorted downstairs to Exhibitor Registration. Any and all new registrations and or changes, like I mentioned, should be handled in Stands Room 303. Badges will be mailed if you registered prior to October 11th. Anything after that, you're going to have to pick it up on site with either that barcode, the registration email I mentioned, or a valid ID. And then lastly, any badges not received, you'll have to pick them up at that Stands Room 303. Intellectual property rights. So we do have an on-site AAPEX IP office, and that's located in Stands Room 304. As you can see, those are the scheduled hours, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday as well. What I would suggest for all of you is that if you see another exhibitor who has copyrighted your product or any violations that are involving your company and theirs, let us know as soon as possible, even if it is before the actual show. That way we can get that complaint started and you can take care of it before you're actually on site at the show. If it does happen where you are on site at the show, visit this office. We have our attorneys there and we'll get you started in the process and make it as easy as possible and try and get it handled as fast as possible as well. You can also find the form listed on the Online Exhibitor Services Guide, which I'll talk about in a few minutes, but that is on our website as well for those who may need it. Rules and regulations. So there are, with any trade show, a lot of display rules, rules and regulations, policies, photography. So these are just a few that I wanted to point out. Our exhibitor rules and regulations are a very lengthy document. I know it's a lot to read, but please review it prior to the show. This gives you information whether it's our photography policy, EAC requirements, certificate of insurance, move in, move out, what's included in your booth. All of this very important information is found in these, as well as the display rules and regulations. For that, one thing I would like to mention is if you have a question about your booth design, if you're looking at a new design or a recurring design and you don't know if you can hang a sign or have a back wall or a side drape, email us or call our office. It's on our information's on the website. You guys can talk to us here today as well about it. But that's the easiest way to go about anything regarding your booth instead of waiting on site and then we come around and say you're in violation. So if you have even the simplest of question about your booth design, please let us know and we're happy to help you. We want you to have a successful exhibit this year, and so that's our main number one priority. A few other things is we have a sample certificate of insurance. If you have a question about filling that out, that's on our online guide. EAC requirements, photography, and then solicitations and unauthorized services. As you guys are probably more than well aware in the trade show industry, there are those who should be exhibiting that don't and somehow either show up or try and get a badge. If you see anything in the aisles outside of your booth or in the Sands Expo of something that you don't think is AAPEX related, somebody trying to sell their services, or even if it's exhibitor outside their booth, let show management know. You're more than welcome to flag down one of AutoCare or AESA's members as well, because they should not be doing that. So that's a really nice, helpful tip for us if you guys can just keep your eyes open on that. Online Exhibitor Services Guide. So I mentioned this a few times already. This is where everything you need to have a successful AAPEX is going to be found in. So a few items is we have a checklist for you. We have what's included in your booth, badge registration, housing, the Freeman Services Guide, the Sands Expo Services Guide, and then your e-booth profile, amongst many, many other things, including the rules and regulations I spoke about, display rules and regulations. So this is really your main hub. So if you have about 30 minutes of your day to look at this and just review. I mean, the checklist literally tells you when things are due, when you need to fill out an application, where to find the application. So it's a really, really free and easy resource for you guys to have a really excellent event this year, and takes about 2 minutes to look at. And with that said, our e-booth dashboard, our e-booth profile. So this is going to be where your information is housed and then displayed on our website and our mobile app. So it gives attendees a really easy way to be able to find you, whether it's via product search or just your exhibitor name or your booth number. So please take the time to fill out this e-booth profile. It only has a couple little information. Everything else is pre-programmed and they're from your space application. So really all you have to do is add what types of products and services you have, and then a small, bio. I think it's about under 1,000 characters. And this is just going to allow every attendee that's here to see your information and make it easy to find you. So that's going to be found on the Online Exhibitor Services Guide, and to get there, you're going to go to apexshow.com, as all of you probably went to for the space application. There's going to be the Exhibitor portal, and then under Resources, the second to last drop-down is the Online Exhibitor Services Guide, and the e-booth profiles under Promotional Opportunities. You are allowed 10 free press releases with your registration for AAPEX. And the question was, is our media going to this and reading the press releases? They absolutely are. We will speak about media a little bit later in the slides as well. We have a wonderful woman, Monica, who handles all of our AAPEX media, and she does share the links to the press releases for exhibitors. She shares a ton of information. So that's really valuable, and thank you for bringing that up. We're going to talk about it a little bit later as well, but you get 10 free press releases with your registration. So that's, you got to do it. And it only takes a few minutes, and you can, whether you have a product that's coming out, if it's an anniversary for your event, if it's your first time exhibiting and you want to get the word out, this is a great area to be able to do that. So with that said, we do allow meeting rooms. We have these available for you guys to meet with clients on site. So there's a few different options. The first option that I'm actually going to talk about is our small semi-private meeting rooms. These are found on the level 2, so right above us, where the Starbucks is when you're walking from the Venetian and Palazzo. They're directly to the right. And what these are, they are semi-private. They fit about 5 to 6 people in them, and you can only rent them in hour increments. But it's an area where it's close to the trade show floor. You don't have to go up a couple flights in the Venetian or walk over to a restaurant or anything like that, and you can meet with your clients. These are first come, first serve. So my best bet for you is to, on Tuesday, we will have an associate right outside these meeting rooms who will be doing the scheduling. Get there first thing and get it planned out. You're welcome to book, whether it's one time, 1 hour, or you can do a Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. and then come back Thursday for an hour meeting. You'll work with them on site, but this is a free option for you guys to meet with clients should you not have available space in your booth or elsewhere. Another option is our large private meeting rooms. So what we do for exhibitors on site is we actually rent out these meeting spaces where we're at right now. So to give you kind of an idea of how much space you're getting, this air wall right here would be closed, and this section right here is going to be a full meeting room for you to rent out. So those details I can provide to you. I'm actually the coordinator for those, so you can send me an email. The meeting room form is online on that Online Exhibitor Services Guide as well, and so that's another option for you guys to have more of a private meeting space. There are restricted hours, so you can't host all day during the show floor. You can't host during sponsored, like our AAPEX reception on Monday night, but I can go through all those details with you, and with a fine-tooth comb, just send me an email. And with that note, these are a few of our key industry events that are going to be happening at AAPEX. So we do have our AAPEX reception on Monday, November 4th. That's going to be at 6 p.m. to 7:30 in the Venetian, right upstairs at the Veronese 2401. A few other events that we would like to keep in mind are the Women in Auto Care Awards press conference and reception on Tuesday. We have an OAC global reception at Madame Tussauds. That is a ticketed event. For more information on that, you can definitely talk with Liz Goad, and she'll put you in the right direction for that. And then we have the Yang reception for those who are under 40, and that's going to be at the Yardbird this year on Wednesday at 5 p.m. We have multiple other events that are going on at AAPEX, so the best thing that I could suggest for you is to go online to our schedule, and we have all of the events highlighted on there for you.